We're going to start our Town of Sangerville Board of Selectmen meeting Wednesday, August 15th. It's 5:01. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 2, approval of the minutes, July 25th, 2018, July 27th, 2018, that's a Select Board Roadwork Emergency Workshop meeting, and August 2nd, Select Board meeting.
Make a motion to approve A, B, and C minutes.
Second.
All in favor? It's unanimous. Open session, would anybody like to speak today? No? Okay, oh, it looks like I skipped over, I'll come back to you folks. Item 3, review of treasurer's warrants. Payroll, 110 and 112, accounts payable, 108, 109, 111, and 113.
Make a motion to approve all.
Second.
Those in favor? All three. Back to open session. No hands. Very good. Selectmen's concerns. Any? Getting out of here early. Committee reports. Road Commissioner.
I emailed Brian Howard for Gordon Contracting to get a price on guardrails. He hasn't gotten back to me. I just did that this morning. I just talked to Jeff Peters about getting some prices for what we could actually get for equipment that we might want to sell, like the 1-ton truck we know that we want to sell. There's a V-plow in the back that doesn't fit anything. Get a price on that. And I don't know how you feel on the John Deere tractor that has the mower deck and the sidewalk thing, if you want to do that. But whatever you decide you want to maybe get a price on, he said he will come and take pictures and he will send them to his friend that does auction and get an auction price. Of course, we know auction prices are always lower than what you could actually get, so he's willing to do that for us.
That'll be great.
And you just tell me what equipment besides those 2 or 3 pieces. And Gray Road, the trees have been cut, the stumping has begun.
Whoa.
The fabric has been ordered. I believe Lance will be coming to sign his easement. And Seth had sent me a text message and said he wants to discuss. We're going to have some more to talk about on the Gray Road, but I want to get my ducks in a row first. Nothing serious, just about keeping everyone happy with how things are going to work. And so I told him that's fine. It sounds good to me. Coal Patch, he did McFeeters, East Sangerville, Flanders Hill, Civils Mills, and Brockway Mills already yesterday.
It's like half out.
We got like 16.5 ton.
That's awesome. But
That's
I mean, I looked at the pile, it's like half out already.
Half out already?
Yeah, it's been there, what, 2 days?
2 days, yeah.
And it rained today.
And it rained today, yeah.
Did it rain here today?
Yeah.
yeah.
I needed it bad and I
yeah,
didn't get it.
Yeah, right. Not
Not much, but it did.
I've gotten 2 complaints since Monday, Tuesday. People come in and complain about there's a tree that's, the branch is over, and then I don't remember what the other one was, but they were written complaints. So I took a picture of the complaint, I texted it to Seth and said, can you do this, or can you check it, or immediate response back within an hour or 2. So he's being very responsive, and I'm very appreciative of him being so responsive.
Wow.
Taking it seriously, it's off to a good start, I guess.
Yes,
you could say.
yes,
Yep.
yes.
I don't know if one of those is that tree on Silver's Mills, but you might want to go look at that. It's not a right now, but if we
I showed him that. When I
Okay.
originally showed him around the town, that was one of the trees. We've had some discussion whether or not, if it's not broken off, and is it the town's responsibility or is it the landowner's responsibility? Because even though it's in the town right-of-way, the trees belong to the landowner. So if it's not broken down, whose responsibility is it? If it's hanging, does the town have liability? I don't know.
My opinion would be if it's broken and it can come down into the roadway, then I would think it would be our
Like in
That
paying
one.
for years.
Well,
Yeah,
have you
I know.
seen this willow tree out here?
No, I know.
Which one?
Right here at the
Oh,
corner.
no.
If you
We have a-
go
we have a
by
level of
down
public
there and
safety.
look up,
That's my only problem.
What did
well,
you say?
You have a level of public safety you have to
Yeah,
consider.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
we don't know.
Well, and honestly, that would be something that I think you normally would defer to your road commissioner and your town
Absolutely.
manager, and if the two of them say,
Yeah.
boy, that definitely gotta get hit, then
Yeah.
It's gotta
we're probably not gonna argue with them, are we?
Right.
Right,
Not at
and
all.
one of them was a tree, and he took pictures and sent them back to me of the tree, because I just sent him the complaint, he sent me a picture back of the tree. The problem with that one is he can't just simply go out and cut it, because right underneath it are
Oh.
wires.
Oh, well, see, there's one where if it comes
Then
down, the
then
power
it
company's
may
gonna
be-
do it.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
us.
Right.
yeah.
So, and that's the concern, you know,
We can't
should we
mess with
call
those.
CMP or should we just leave it? Because I think if we cut the tree and it takes out the line, I think
There's that.
CMP can bill us
Oh.
for repair.
Yeah, and that's just not a good idea.
No, because the second it hits theirs, they own it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I'd call CMP, right?
Well, I think their approach is typically, they're not gonna touch it until they
Oh.
need to touch it.
Right.
They don't do, you know,
They don't do
prophylactic
preventative.
tree cutting.
They
Yeah.
don't?
No.
I mean, they'll trim trees on a schedule, but they
Oh.
don't come in and say, yeah, that one looks a
Oh,
little
oh,
dangerous,
oh.
we'll take it down.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah.
Huh, wow.
I guess they'd probably be chasing trees all
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
place.
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, whatever.
Huh. But then the other question is, do you contact the landowner and say, gee, your trees really?
Well, and that was another part of the discussion. Do we contact the landowner and say, you have a tree, but then is the landowner gonna say it's in your right of way, you need to do it, or,
Yeah, yeah.
I was reading last week on this whole tree cutting in different statutes, and I want to confirm that I read it appropriately, but I read one statute, and it said something in reference that if a town cuts, clears its right of way, then after that, meaning, so if we cut limb back our distance, and that grows back in, and we have to go back and cut that again, then the town can charge the landowner for that. Because once you cut that back, it's the landowner who's supposed to maintain that. I'll find the
Boy,
statute.
that's-
you find that and
Yeah.
let me know, because
I've never-
I've never
Yeah,
heard that.
I never heard it either, and I was,
And I've never heard of a citizen being dinged for it.
Right, I've never heard of any enforcement in it.
I mean, think about all the brush cutting we do every year.
yeah, I know.
I don't think that's.
It's,
Where'd you were reading this?
I was- yeah, that's what I was
This,
reading
sure
about.
this wasn't a wish list?
no, it was main statute. I'll get the
Huh.
statute again.
Yeah.
Because all that wood we just cut up there, well, we didn't cut it, but,
No, we never
Mr.
done it.
Cleaves cut it. But he wanted the wood.
Sure,
We would've had to cut it at our expense, but you're saying that would've been a one-time expense.
correct.
Huh.
Interesting.
There's all kinds of, I started into that, as far as brush trimming, tree trimming, there is all kinds of different statutes that all of this applies to. It's crazy
Oh, I know.
how much is just about trimming trees.
Do you know you can't drive a loaded truck without it being covered? If you're,
Oh, yeah.
you know, carrying like wood chips or something like that, you have to have it covered on main roads because of, yeah, I mean,
Yep.
it's,
Yep.
everything is
Yeah.
so controlled.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you done with the road commit? Well, with that in mind, this seems to me like probably a pretty good juncture to talk about whether we're going to go to the town and ask for funds for additional paving.
It's down a little further.
Oh, is it on the sheet ahead of me? Okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll wait till that then. Because it sounds like we're kinda catching up,
Yeah.
so that's good.
Oh, the one other thing about the guardrails is, Seth had looked up in, I don't know, online or whatever. He found the same company that you had already contacted. So, and other than that, other than Gordon Contracting, I don't think there are many more companies. I asked Seth, does he do it? Does he know of any other general contractor in the area? And he's like, no, nobody does it. So,
I wouldn't think the liability alone on these being put in, I don't really think there's gonna be a lot of options of who you're gonna get.
No, it's fairly specialized.
yeah.
And so, based on the equipment that I saw doing that work along Lake Wasacay, it's quite a major investment to be at that level. And those guys,
And you have to be in that game to keep that inventory of that type of material.
Right.
I mean, nobody else is, you're not gonna do
Right.
100 feet a year and carry all that stuff.
I think, did he put some barrels?
yeah, I was just gonna, he put barrels, if it was, I assume it was him that
Yeah.
put barrels down there, but there are no barrels at the other bridge.
He couldn't find the other
That's,
bridge.
it's so much,
Oh, we couldn't find the other
He-
bridge?
He only found one of them.
Oh.
And when
There-
I
it's
brought
actually
him up,
blazed.
I couldn't find it.
there's still some blaze hanging there.
Is there?
Yeah, but you guys are welcome to come see me and I'll take you down.
Okay, I'll let him know.
And I also, and you guys can do what you want, but I texted him, introduced myself in the text, told him my home phone number, said if he ever had an issue, he's welcome to call me anytime.
Yeah,
So-
that's good, yeah. I have not done that, but
Me neither.
it's on
Yeah.
my to-do list.
Oh, one question. I may be acquiring a piece of equipment. Do I need permission to play with that said equipment and do a little bit of roadside mowing?
Yeah, you probably, I mean, technically, yeah, probably, because we had to give like grants permission.
Yeah, okay.
And
I've got about a half a mile over by my house and you're welcome to come up.
you wanna do like
Come
West
practice.
Road and McNaughton Hill.
No, I might start on Silver's Mills.
What
Well,
is
why
the
couldn't you
said
do,
piece of
the camp road?
12-foot flail boom.
Ooh.
You're gonna get that, huh?
Yeah.
You're going to?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Boys and their toys.
So we could
Cabot's one
employ
of those
you.
next.
We could employ you to
I
do
didn't say
work.
that's why I was gonna acquire this piece of equipment.
Okay,
Let's see how it works.
on to item 7. Marijuana moratorium.
This is, I put it on here just as a topic of discussion. I spoke with Mike. I received a letter of inquiry regarding THC products. Somebody wants to, she has a certified kitchen, she's registered with the state, and she wants to make product with THC, which is a marijuana derivative. There is a state statute. It's twofold. It's broken down into adult use and medical marijuana. Adult use has already been passed. You have to have an opt-in ordinance to allow that. The medical marijuana is, it's going to be the same, but it doesn't start until 90 days after they end this legislative session, which may not be until November. So she's asking for an application, and we don't have an application.
Because we don't have an ordinance.
Because we don't have an ordinance.
We didn't opt in yet.
We didn't opt
Right.
in, but
Right.
we're being recommended highly by MMA Legal to do a moratorium because she's asking for an application. And we don't want her to create her own application.
Right.
We don't have an application. And, we talked about a petition or whatever but we don't even know what she's looking for, if it's adult use or medical. The thought is to kind of just like nip it in the bud with a moratorium and until you have an ordinance in place to either allow or disallow. I talked with code enforcement and he concurs, he's done some research. I printed off the whole law and had outlined some things. He's gone to look at other towns' moratoriums or their ordinances. And of course, one of the things that we need to consider is federal, if we allow it, federal.
I think that's probably where MMA's reluctance is coming from.
That's where the
Until the
states-
feds kind of clear up their position on this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think most states are gonna say,
We-
Be careful.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
really can't advise you.
but regardless, we have not opted in.
Right.
And so we have no mechanism to provide her with a authorization.
Right.
And it's pretty simple.
But so is the default that since we didn't opt in, that it's not
The default is you must act to get in.
to allow?
Nobody's in
To allow it, that is
until they
correct.
opt in.
Okay.
And that takes a
And we haven't
legislative
done
body.
Okay.
But on the
Oh,
flip side of
it's
that,
a
see,
legislative body. Oh, so
Yeah,
we'd have to
it's
go
an
to-
ordinance.
yes, it's an
We
ordinance.
have to take it to the
Yes.
town, one way or the other.
But see, the medical
Actually,
marijuana
not one way or the other. I
is,
mean, we don't
Just
have
if
an
we
answer.
want to opt in, sorry.
the medical marijuana, if you allow it now, they're grandfathered after that So if you issued them a permit now to say, yeah, go ahead and do that, if you pass an ordinance that says no, or you don't pass an ordinance and say no, because you've already issued it, they're
They're
grandfathered.
grandfathered in.
So
Yeah,
we
so-
haven't done any
We
of that
haven't done any of that.
for medical marijuana as well,
And
right?
the code, he also suggested the moratorium because they haven't designed any code enforcement.
Doesn't
So-
design anything. There's so many holes in this whole thing. It's
Well,
not-
and that's it. And he's like, just, so we're kind of getting the feel that maybe we should do a moratorium, but it's something to consider. I think back in March or April, I forwarded you emails on moratoriums. So just
And
letting
Guilford
you
did
know
one, right?
that Guilford did do one, yes.
Is Dover?
I don't know.
I was thinking I heard that Dover did as well.
I don't remember voting on one, but
So, and that's not a legislative body moratorium, the
Yes,
moratorium?
yes,
Oh,
it
it is?
is.
So
Either way.
if
It's
we
still
were
an
to-
act, I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it seems almost superfluous. I mean, the state statute says you gotta opt in. So if
So,
we don't put
we
it on
haven't
a
opted
warrant, nothing happens.
Right,
Unless
Unless somebody does a petition.
somebody
Puts
does a
it-
petition and forces us to put it on the warrant. Now, and we haven't even discussed this, there may be two of us that want it on the warrant, so that's, to be fair, we haven't even had a discussion as to whether we would advance it, but we're not there yet. I
Right.
mean, it's not that time of year,
right.
right.
so.
And I haven't had any, well, I take that back. I haven't had one person of interest to move this forward, but
Really?
one.
I see, at this point, I see some parallels between this and the food ordinance. When the MMA said, this could be thorny legally, you better get some legal advice before you, this certainly could get thorny. If the feds are saying that what we're doing as a state is theoretically illegal. I'd like to see them kind of clarify that, but anyway.
Okay, all right.
Any more on that?
Nope.
No? Special town meeting. So, I guess the question is, are we inclined to do that? I think, Lois and I talked to see if there was anything else to ask for, in addition to the paving of the Silver's Mills Road. I even called her today and said, do we have enough money to pave Flanders Hill if we could get it ready? And she had shared with me how positive the first week has been with Seth. And I said, do you think he could get it ready? She said, if I called him tomorrow, I bet he'd get started tomorrow.
Wow.
So, if we wanted to, it looks like we could conceivably get that ready. Money-wise, what your thoughts were? We probably could swing it.
Our general fund surplus right now is like 1.2 million, 1.2 million. So you can't take, you can't say from property taxes, because we've already done commitments, so it would have to come out of surplus.
But in some ways, I think, when I was on the budget committee, I don't know about you, but one of the things that kind of always puzzled us was this surplus kept getting larger and larger and larger. This is certainly a valid use for that huge piggy bank that we've created. Getting caught up on our roads and
Yep,
letting these people drive on a nicer piece of road.
yeah, just get ahead.
Now, we
a
could
little
break them into pieces so that, in theory, one piece could pass and another would not, and then we could address it budgetarily next year. Or we just don't do anything, or we only ask for one. If we're gonna ask for one, my personal feeling is finish Silver's Mills, because that's
Yeah,
what we started.
Yes,
And reassure all the folks on McFeeters they're next in line.
Well, at the end of the day, it's the same dollar value, basically, right? I mean, it's about the same distance.
Yeah, it's about the same distance, so it would probably be the 110 to do
Sure.
the feeders as well.
And all of the things that we needed to do to prepare the culverts and ditching were in this year's budget to do. So that, as far as getting it ready, we did put some coal patch on it, or we're about to, that we
We did, yeah.
would.
Oh, it's 10 times better than it was.
Okay,
Right
so
now.
some people
I mean-
might say, well, why did you coal patch it? Well, we didn't know that you were gonna approve the paving either.
Because coal patch is
Can be-
cheaper than shim.
shim, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
but now
it's a-
we're
it's
coming
a-
to, what I'm saying is if we come to them and
Right.
say, we're looking for 100,000 to shim and pave, some people might say, well, then why did you put that coal patch on? Well, we
Because
didn't know
it's-
you were gonna do.
It's
It's
still-
cheaper to coal patch than it is to shim.
Right,
So that's what I'm saying. If you just spent $100 worth of coal patch on McFeeters Road, that would have been $500 worth of shim. As far as numbers.
Well, I don't know what this does to paving. Paving over coal patch is not a problem, obviously.
Yes and no, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it.
I mean, if we knew for sure we were gonna pave it, we wouldn't have dumped coal patch out there.
Right,
And
absolutely.
but we don't know that we're gonna
Correct.
pave it, so.
That's correct.
And the road's rough, and so it needed to be
Right,
Right.
upkept,
right.
so. But, and maybe we don't even wanna add that, I just was kinda, if we're gonna go and ask, I believe we have plenty of money,
Right.
and that road's terrible. And what that does is that takes the next piece of road, that could be that East Sangerville piece, or I don't really know, I'm just, but that moves that up to the queue for
Mm-hmm. Right.
next year.
Right.
We really would be catching up. To do 2 miles of paving for Sangerville would,
I would,
3, it would be 3 total if we
Yeah.
did it, because we already did a mile.
I would prefer to do 1 more mile this year and then do the same thing next year. If you wanna try to
do a,
2
do a
next year.
commit
miles.
and then come back if we
Yeah.
get done, that's another approach,
Mm-hmm.
it's all valid, and we're still spending the same money.
And it's still getting them a year ahead. I mean,
Yep,
Right,
because right now, if we do nothing, the way, I know it's not next year and we're not committed, blah, 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 but my thought process is next year would be the remainder of Silver's Mills. So if we stayed on a 1-year plan, 1 mile plan, next year it'd be Silver's Mills, the following year would be McFeeters. So if we could finish that up this year, that moves them to the spring or next summer.
you know, one of the things that I don't really wanna do is raise taxes to do more paving than what we did this year. I think people have already paid to have that road fixed, it's just, that money's sitting in the bank.
Yep.
And so, whether we utilize it in the way that we're attempting to do this year or not, I just think it's, to keep building that to 1.5, 1.6, and then tax them every time we wanna pave a road.
Right.
That doesn't seem,
No,
no.
right.
But you think if we took this out right now, we would be okay in June of next year and not have to touch the CD?
You could,
Close.
it would be close, my balance got to about 80,000 this year, before we kicked in,
Started.
but I could have held that school payment, which is about 75,000, so that would have left us at
And we're gonna earn
150.
20,000.
That's what, yeah,
That's
so
right,
you're
that's
saying
right.
80.
So we're pretty, I mean, you
Right.
almost could do
Right.
both
We're
roads
getting
and not
Right.
even touch the CD.
Right, right.
And if you had to touch the CD to pave, that's perfectly fine.
right, right,
It is, but I
right.
just.
No, it's nice to leave it.
I would really like to, if we could do an extra mile of paving and not touch the CD, and that would be a win, 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 win.
I
Yeah,
agree with that. I agree
That's-
with that. Is there any, we'll set big feeders aside for a minute. Well, on that top, what's the next piece of, does anybody know what the third in line, you know, if we got the rest of Sangerville, McFeeters, where would be the next worst place? As far as paving, not gravel.
What's
The
next
short-
on the queue?
Short piece in East Sangerville, but it's a short piece, it's not,
is it from Flanders to McNaughton Hill?
nope, from,
Dowdy Hill.
it's nope, keep going. After you go out through East Sangerville, past the Grange, past Butchie's, you go around the sharp corner,
That's
down
nice.
across
In
the
that
flat,
valley.
in that valley and up that hill. I mean, you could probably do a mile in there if you wanted to, but I don't see a mile in there that needs to be done. That needs to be done, that would be, I would say that's next.
What are your worst gravel roads? Great road aside.
Well, honestly, when I was looking at this, right here, and I see that we got a little bit of money yet that's not designated, that's where, and there, that's what I figured that would be, we could use that towards fall, whatever's left over to put some gravel in.
This is kind of designated, see this remainder of the list that was provided to Seth is 12,000? That would have to come out of that 18.
Well, somewhere we need to come up with some gravel to go on our gravel roads, we haven't done
Well,
anything.
I don't have a problem with asking for that too. If, in other words, if we have a plan, we know there's a road that could use X number of yards, we can ask for that at this special.
Do we have an idea from Seth how long this is all gonna take him? That's what we really need.
Oh, and when he gave me the original list, he said like a week or 2 at the most. I mean, seriously, the work that he's got there, he's like, that's nothing. I mean, when I took him out, you know, when we got down to the
I know.
line road, he's like, okay, you're looking at like 3 or 4 days right now. And I'm like, okay.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is I don't wanna,
Good.
I don't wanna sit here and say, well, yeah, let's go another 20,000 for gravel roads, if we don't think we have the time to do this plus the pave plus the gravel roads.
Before the,
Well, I can ask Seth what he thinks.
Yeah.
Which roads would you be considering? I mean, and keep in mind, this Gray Road part, there was no extra gravel
Correct.
earmarked for that. So there was no monies earmarked for that gravel.
Right.
Just the 1,000 yards that was donated. So if it needs
more.
more,
yeah,
then
we're
that's
gonna have
not in this.
Right, and we
I'm
need to
Confident
finish it.
it's gonna need more.
to- Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'm open to other things, but that was, if we're gonna have this special, to ask for this mile of paving on the Sills Mills Road, is there anything else that we wanna ask for? Maybe not.
If we could pull off another mile of pavement, I'd be.
No, I think it would be great.
And I don't think we have a dirt road that's in bad enough shape that you're gonna hear anybody.
I haven't, yeah, I mean, nobody's come in and complained about one, that doesn't mean they're not potholy or.
And we're not grading them again, we're not doing two gradings this summer.
I do have it on here for 3,500, because you do want to kind of spot
Yep.
grade before
Yeah.
winter comes in.
Yeah,
No, if we've got the money, we
Yeah.
should do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And are we still doing the roadside? Because it hasn't been done on the Thomas Road, I mean, the roads.
It was not on the list. I went back and
Okay.
checked the list.
Okay.
The map that I had used was the previous map that had been used, and it was not on there. Neither was West Road or McNaughton Road, Mountain Hill.
Okay.
So I have already added
Or
them,
mills.
and so the next time we put it out to bid,
Okay,
it will be on it.
good, good.
This isn't part of your special
Right.
town meeting, but what about your winter sand plow?
I haven't heard anything back from Seth yet about, because he and I had talked about it, but I haven't heard anything back from Seth on the sand.
Okay,
I'll
so
put
it's
it-
not with Chris and Warren right now, it's,
Well, Seth was going to talk with Chris.
Oh, okay.
I told Seth that was the plan,
Okay.
was to have
so he's
Chris and
communicating
Warren
with them.
do it.
I'm at the point that I'm ready to put this out to bid.
The winter
The sand?
Yep.
All right, let me talk to, I will contact Chris.
Right, Fire.
I wanna see some sand put up. We have,
Well,
Yeah,
there
when
was,
it's
I know
coming.
there was a question on
Good, clean
the
sand.
quality
Yep.
sand, yeah.
but I don't wanna wait till our next meeting on the 5th to find out, we need to put this up bid.
Yeah, no,
I
if
would
if we
rather just-
need to put it out to bid, we should get that rolling, yeah.
The culvert that we wanna remove there by Casmazax, that you will have to figure, we'll have to get a price on and add that to the
Yep.
paving.
Yep,
And I would find out too, I mean, I'm assuming we put out bids for paving, so you already know, have an idea who we wanna use.
I only received the one back.
Well, then I would make sure he's still available and can do what we need to do, if we can get it approved.
and that number was like 119.
119
And we've got a
and change.
culvert, so we probably ought to ask for 125, 130.
Yeah.
Yeah, 125 anyway, probably.
Yeah. And I don't, can we, if we had extra, could we put it to use? If we only spend 119, can we use the 25 on gravel, or
Sure.
would we have to, okay.
Because we're gonna ask for funds
For
for
this road maintenance.
road
For
improvement,
road improvement, that's how I would word it.
yeah.
Plus or minus miscellaneous.
Well, once it's in road improvement, that's,
Okay,
Then
then
we're
we can
good.
do
we
it.
can do
Okay.
whatever. I mean, but that's the intent.
So when do we wanna have this meeting?
I have to have 7 days to post it. So,
Let's think about what would be a possible conflict. Is there any concerts or anything that anybody's aware of, or?
September 5th.
And what kind of
Yeah,
day
right now.
do we wanna do it on?
I think we wanna do it on a weekday,
A weekday.
You do want to do it
Okay.
on a weekday.
yeah, and I think 6:30.
Okay, so, okay,
And I think you wanna get the word out on the Shows Mills Road.
You wanna
right,
get the
Because
word
those-
out, well, and it's not even Silver's Mills, you don't wanna get the word out on McPeters, I mean,
Yep,
this is
Because
huge.
because it
this
puts them up in the
pushes-
queue.
that's a good
Yeah.
idea, that's
Yeah.
right, you're
I mean,
absolutely right,
it's-
that's right.
It's not just, this isn't just benefit people
No,
on
no,
Silver.
No,
no.
it doesn't.
benefits
Right.
anybody.
It puts us ahead a
Doesn't-
full year or more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
You know, if we
Yeah.
don't do this and I live on McFeeters, that means there's no sign of me seeing pavement for 2 years.
Till 2020.
If we do this, this means
Next
next,
year.
at this time, I'm gonna be riding
Your
on a nice
skateboard,
road.
Oh.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah, I think it's, I can't imagine anyone's gonna balk. The only way a person, other people I can see balking is that they don't understand the surplus.
Right,
Once we've explained to them how much we have in surplus and what this amounts to, I can't imagine anybody would object.
right,
Right.
That's what the money's there for.
that's right.
Oh.
So next week is too soon, because today's Wednesday.
Right.
Well, we could do next
Thursday,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Or Friday.
Thursday.
I don't think Friday's the
Friday's
best
Friday.
day.
No,
And maybe Thursday's maybe 1 week is too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that much of a rush. So,
If we could be a couple weeks out, I think that should give all of this project list complete.
so
Well,
what is next?
More or less, yes. I mean, we know that winter plowing, we don't pay until November, December.
I know, but I mean, as far as all of our road work, budget money will be gone.
Be gone or accounted for.
Right,
the 23rd is next Thursday, and the 30th is the following Thursday.
oh, okay.
Monday, the 27th is fine, 28th is Tuesday would be fine,
And we don't have another meeting scheduled for August.
until the 5th.
Of Sep,
We're meeting on the 21st
wow, right.
over in Guilford,
Right.
but that's really nothing to do
Right.
business with.
What do you got for Wednesday? 29th. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, we're not meeting.
We're not meeting.
That's a typical business day here in
Yeah,
Sangerville, so
yeah, Wednesday, that's good.
do you wanna make so we need a motion, do we not?
Do we have anything else that we need to
That's
take
what-
care of?
That's- Now, once we've
That was a
decided
question.
the date, does your agenda have to be complete? In other words, does the agenda have to be accurate for that 7-day window, or can you add and subtract from it?
Once you sign the warrant, that's it,
That's it,
and it gets posted.
But the warrant.
Once I
doesn't have to be-
post the warrant,
right.
But the warrant doesn't have to be we could make a motion tonight, that you're gonna have a meeting on the 29th.
Right,
Special town meeting.
Correct.
Right.
and I will get that done in the next couple of days, and you have to sign it so I can post it, and I have to have it posted 7 days prior.
Correct.
Okay. And we can add and subtract up until that 7th day, that's when you gotta
Until I
post it,
post
then
it,
it's
right.
frozen in time.
Right.
You can cancel the meeting.
Right.
Actually, there's even a clause about, you
You
can't
can
even
cancel
cancel.
it within 3 days or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
It really gets
We played this
sticky.
one. Yeah.
yeah.
And technically, you can change the warrant, but you have to do it as particular, I mean,
Oh,
I've
oh.
read the whole law this
Right.
spring.
So is there anything we wanna sell? Is there anything we wanna buy? That's kind of what I was trying to go through in my head. I don't see anything right now that we wanna sell, but I'm open to discussion. I can't think of anything.
The only thing that honestly is, I noticed for the last few weeks that the red 5500's been sitting outside.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we still
yeah.
have that white truck that's sitting inside.
Yeah, why, what's
The
going on?
value on that truck, in my opinion, is gonna be under what we are allowed to sell,
The white truck.
the white truck.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where we get
That's
numbers.
what, yep, but that's why I would like to have that number, if we could get that relatively soon. If that number, if we get a value that says that that's gonna be over that 5,000, then that will need to be on the warrant.
The white truck?
Yep,
I'm meeting with Jeff on Friday.
yep, I know,
Perfect.
I'm just saying that was one thing
But
that,
do you see any way that that's $5,000?
You wanna keep the fuel thing that's on the back though.
yes, I would take that off. That
Yeah, I would
is-
sell it separately.
Yeah, down the road. you
You're
want
gonna
to,
get
yeah.
more money for it just putting it on Craigslist than you are throwing it on the truck.
Right, you ain't gonna get nothing for that on the truck.
Right.
But I mean, it's that oddball-y year of a Chevrolet diesel, the floor's gone. I don't see anybody wanting to buy that truck and put fenders and doors and rocker panels and cab corners and floorboards and.
I
Right.
see somebody, like if Chris and Warren have 3 like it, I can see them saying, well, all right,
Yeah.
we could use
Right,
another one,
parts,
but.
Right,
Yeah, I mean, it's got decent tires, it's got a decent body, it's got a decent, well, it's got a plow on it. It's been used, so there's not a lot of value there as far as me, what I'm thinking, but I could be way off.
But if it's worth 5,000, we really would like to get that on the warrant.
Right.
Because we'd like to get rid of it.
right. So that has a plow on it? It doesn't have a wing or anything like that,
Just a
just a
plow.
plow?
Yeah,
Like a 7.5 foot.
no, it's eight
I think it's
and
an
a half,
8.
8 or 9 maybe?
So the reason why the 5500's outside is because,
I don't know.
They just, when Herrick's returned it, they didn't have a key to the garage to put it inside.
oh.
Is
so
it still
just-
outside?
It's still outside.
I'm surprised Seth didn't put it in, cause I think he used that to do the,
Oh, I mean,
patch.
I didn't see it today. I haven't
No,
been
it's
up
still
there.
there.
It's there, okay.
So he's
I'll
just,
tell him
he's
to
using
put it
it,
in.
he's putting it back there because that's where he found it.
Yeah,
I'll just tell him to put it in.
Yep.
yeah.
I know there was something in that bay, but it was not, I mean, it's just little, like a sign or something.
That lawn tractor, what are we gonna need that for?
That's
It's just gonna sit there and get old.
older.
Yeah. I mean, are you familiar with it at all?
The snow blower, I mean, the mowing deck, I don't think is hasn't been on it for quite a while.
Oh, they mowed with it last year.
It's pretty rough looking, but okay.
They did mow with it last year, and I think there are 2 snow blower attachments, I believe.
There's 1.5. There's the old one that they've already ruined, and there ain't much left to it other than what appeared to be a snowblower. And then there's the one that's on it, and I know when you and I looked at it, there was a fair amount of welding that's been done on it.
Is that a $5,000 machine in any world?
It's right there.
Okay.
it?
So
It's
Wow.
close. Yeah,
Really?
it's
I thought it was a
40
gasoline engine.
oh no, it's a little diesel. It's a
Uh-huh.
4300 series.
4,300.
4300 series. I mean, there's no loader on it. That's the big value of those, but it's a 4-wheel
Does
drive.
it got a PTO, a rear PTO?
Oh yeah, it's 3.8.
Oh yeah, it could be worth $5,000 pretty easy.
With a mowing deck, with a snow blower. It's got a cab.
Chains.
Oh.
There's no
Oh.
heat. There's no AC. The cab. I mean, it's rough. So I mean, it would be flip the coin on whether or not you would get that value.
Well, do we wanna ask permission to sell it?
Yeah.
Because I don't mind, if one or both of you wanna, I'll come down and help put it together and we'll put it on Craigslist. Or we just let it sit, I mean,
I would do the same thing. I would just have Jeff look at it and see what he thinks. I mean, I don't really. We're contracting all of our mowing. Why do we need it?
yeah, and
Right.
it's just sitting there
And
getting
our
older and
sidewalks.
older and older.
It's never been big enough to do our sidewalks, and it's never done our sidewalks. I mean, we only could do pieces of them. We never.
Even the snow blower
Yeah.
isn't big enough.
It's
Oh.
it's a wicked. It was. They were a homeowner machine.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
weren't a
that's what it looks like.
resident,
Yeah,
Commercial.
yeah.
But
There's a sander that goes in the 5500. The spreader part of it, remember that needs to be replaced if we are going to use it. If we're not going to use it, maybe we don't need the sander part of it.
I
That's a
just
thought.
hold for now on that.
Yeah, but,
I think that's fixable
Yes.
without replacing it. I think you could straighten that.
and new, I bet those are pretty pricey.
I think it's more than just that.
It's okay.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know where there is one.
Okay.
So do we wanna mess with the tractor on this warrant, or just leave it alone for
I
now?
would ask.
Ask Jeff to get
Yeah.
prices
Okay.
and then
Yeah, yeah.
what he comes back with.
Well, if it's under 5, we're okay, but,
It's too bad to just let it. I mean, one thought in my head is that we're not going to use it. We don't need it. We ought to get rid of it because it's just sitting in there. All it's doing is rusting.
well, between those two items, that could be $10,000 worth of gravel. And I'd much rather see us put that down on the
In
ground. Yeah,
On the ground.
I mean, the truck is definitely, to me, is nothing we're going to use. Fix. It needs to go. So
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, even if we were gonna be in the public works business, we'd
We-
get
that
rid
would
of
go.
that truck.
That would go. Correct. That's what I was thinking.
Alright, so we just need numbers, I guess, if they come in over 5, we'll add them to the warrant.
Right.
Alright. Anything else that we want on there? Alright. So, we need a motion for the date.
Wednesday, August 29th at 6:30 p.m.
So I'll make a motion that we have a special town meeting Wednesday, August 29th at 6:30 PM. Do we have to say what we're gonna put on there?
You can, the paving,
Right,
or, well, we're gonna call it road improvement.
so do we know how much?
The warrant will be road improvement.
For road improvement, the warrant will be for road improvement and
125.
120, yeah, I think that's what we said.
$125,000. And,
And possible equipment sale,
right, possible equipment sale,
still waiting for numbers.
pending.
Second.
One bit of discussion, do we need a moderator?
Yes.
We need to know if Mr. Davis can help us. So if
Do you
we,
have anybody available? I mean, let's just say he's not available that entire week.
do you
Not
know
that I don't
anybody?
want him to,
Do I know
Do we have a
anybody?
backup?
I can call Dover, or I can call
I mean, if
Tom.
Paul's available, that's great, I'm not saying I don't want Paul.
Yeah, he seems to
I
always
just-
make it work, but he could have anything going on the 29th. You don't have his number. Do you have his number?
I do in my phone, do you want me to call?
I'm just, if we could put this to bed right now, it'd be
Right.
great to know,
Do you want me to go do that?
if you don't mind.
No, not. Oh, I'm gonna keep these. Okay, I'll give him a call.
Thank you. Good to just know.
No, I've always, honestly, I know that's what we've always done, and I've always wanted that. What do you do if we couldn't do it?
You find somebody else. I know there's Art Jetty in Dexter. Actually, I do know Art Jetty. Jack Weinstein is in Garland.
So, I mean, there are a few options in the area, okay? You know, Peter Neal, he used to do the district budget meeting for the school board. He used to do that. And he left the area, so actually, I think Tom Goulet.
Well, that's what I was thinking, if Tom
Just
Wool
done
could
it.
do it.
I just thought of him. What time does the concert start down there tonight?
6
At 6.
to 7:30. 6 to 7:30. Looks like they're gonna have some sunshine out there instead of rain.
I think the rain has blown through.
Yeah.
That was the Finney place.
Yep. Did somebody purchase that, or did?
Yeah, he did. Chadwick did.
Oh, okay. So he purchased it for, is he gonna do something there? Or just
His wife wants to move over there, and he doesn't want to move. So he's probably going to be moving, is my guess.
So no answer at home, and I called his cell phone, and I left a message on his cell phone to either get a hold of you or to get a hold of me.
That's
So,
the best we can do.
okay.
Any further discussion? This obviously will be pending. If he can't do it, we will ask Lois to try to find someone else, and if that fails, then we'll have to go to a different date.
Yep, it's my anniversary. I just realized that.
Do you want to?
It's fine.
Okay.
It rang a bell when we were talking about August 29th, and then
Way off the distance. Ding. Those are wedding bells. Any further discussion?
No.
All right, let's vote.
Did we have a second?
Yes, we did, Dale,
Oh,
second.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll vote for the motion to have a special town meeting on the 29th at 6:30. All's in favor? It's unanimous. 3. Okay. On to the November alcohol vote.
Oh. So, the alcohol vote has to be a secret ballot, paper ballot. And when you do a secret ballot, you have to run it the same time frame that you would run a regular state election, which is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. But we can run it concurrent with the November election, having our own ballot. But it's considered a special town meeting. So again, you would have to have a moderator. They come in, they get appointed in the morning. They don't have to stay all day. If I'm here or one of the other ladies in the office, we can be deputized as the deputy moderator just because we're here. And they can leave and go about the business of the day, and the deputy can close the polls at the end of the day. But it is considered a special town meeting. And so we know that we have to do those 5 votes on the Sunday sales. So
5, what is a 5?
I just wrote them down in one of those minutes. It was
Okay, we read
on premise
that.
and off premise. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like they're selling beer stuff on Sunday.
That's right.
So they'll be getting a ballot for state and federal elections, and they're gonna get a local ballot
Right.
for this item.
Right.
And they'll vote what they're gonna vote.
Right.
I just like somehow to figure out how we're gonna educate people what this is really about. I mean, I know it's on tape, we've talked about it, but
Because it's a paper ballot, you have to run a public hearing.
There you go.
that's all,
So sometime in October, we'll have a public hearing.
Okay.
And you know what, once Robinson's is in the loop, they'll be explaining to everybody why they need to show up and get this.
Yeah, they'll be
cleared
filling
up.
everyone
well,
in.
yeah, that's why.
Because they're
I
right
wanna
now
make
kind
sure.
of in the limbo zone.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
state has given us kind of a little latitude, but that may not last forever.
Right.
So,
Well, that's why they make sure when we do the public, it'd be a good idea to make sure to reach out to
correct.
both businesses in town to make
Right.
sure they're both aware of this, and please attend this so that you
Right.
can help us educate.
Encourage us.
And then
yeah.
promote afterwards.
Yeah.
And they've been notified, obviously.
I haven't notified them, no. And the state won't notify them.
Oh. Will not?
I don't think so. I don't think she'll say anything until she probably has a time frame.
Oh.
I mean, she's got 480 something towns to.
Yeah, they're probably not gonna notify the business and say, if the town doesn't do something, they're just gonna show up and say, you can't do this anymore.
Right.
So
But it
maybe
sounds like we got some time.
Yeah, but maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea in one of the next couple of meetings, and well in advance of our hearing, to, what the vote, the questions is gonna be. We could invite, I believe Terry Lowell as the manager up here, and I can't remember the gentleman's name that runs the Country Time, but actually invite them both in, so they would.
And, does Stutzman serve alcohol on Sundays?
I don't even know if they serve.
That's the only other place that I
Do they
believe.
serve any, period?
I thought
They do, because that was one of the original votes was for, basically, it didn't specifically say Stutzman's,
Sure.
but they're on-premise drinking, so.
those 3, now that
were-
it's been officially addressed here and we have a plan for our November thing, I would reach out to them next week or later this week, or just let them know, here's what's going on, and here's how your select board's gonna address it. And they can start talking, we're gonna have a hearing, and they can start talking to people about it. It's just something that fell through the cracks.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, correct, but I just wanna make sure that, I don't want this to, I can see how this is gonna go. This is gonna leak out and, the
it's gonna
select
get
board is
all
trying to get rid of all this,
misconstrued.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather actually
Yeah.
invite them
Have-
into the meeting, and you can explain all of this, and this is why we're doing this, so they
Right.
hear it all from you at one time, one shot, and
Right.
not.
The other thing to be aware of is if the no's prevail, then the state probably is gonna enforce this.
Sure.
So it's
Right,
important, if you have an outcome, a desired outcome.
Right.
and you're gonna have a large population vote, because it's also a gubernatorial
Correct.
election.
But that's why I think it's important to get them in here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
let
that
them know what we're
everyone
doing.
Understands.
Yeah,
It really was kind of an oversight from years ago, but we've gotta fix it.
Straight.
We have to fix it, and they need to know that we're on board with them as well as they need to be on board with us.
Right.
Let me, could Could we bring an item up like this in our town meeting at the end of August, just as a general information? Is that a forum where you can do that, or?
You can't do it in the parameters of the warrant, but you can maybe make an announcement
Use
either
it as
before or
educational.
after.
Yeah, just to let people know, this is
Yes.
kind of an interesting item that's coming up. I want to get people talking about this before we get into fall.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I think that's a really good idea, but I would like to,
Know that we can do that.
well, I know you can do it.
You can
but
do it, I mean, you
That's
you
not a
just can't.
question. You can't vote or act on it.
No, but,
Right.
but
But
is
can you
this,
even just
is the
discuss it?
town meeting the forum for that
The
sort of a
proper
thing?
place.
I don't,
Yeah, there's no saying that you can't.
okay.
Absolutely. I mean, I know in Bradford, we'd had a town meeting, and after the whole meeting was over, there was a representative there, and she spoke for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, talking about
What she
what
wanted
she
to
does,
talk-
what she wanted to do.
Yeah, you probably would not be wise in this case, you could take a side, but you wanna just present what is at stake. It's gonna
Sure.
be a yes or no.
Yeah.
If you were gonna get in trouble, it would be if you came out and, I think we should oppose this. Because you'd be using that forum as a political forum.
Yeah, yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
No,
As
Yeah,
opposed
yeah,
to just an
yeah.
informational
Yep.
forum.
Right.
So,
You can do it as informational, educational,
Yep.
whatever you wanna
it's
call
gonna be
it.
yes or no, and here's what will happen depending on how we vote. And this is something that's just basically has fell through the cracks years ago.
I think that's a wicked good idea, but I really wish we could've reached up to those businesses before even it gets to that point.
Oh, yeah, no,
I
we,
mean, no, I can
yeah.
do that.
Right.
I will try and actually
In fact, you could tell them
make the
that.
paper
it's
ballot
already-
example. I mean,
Oh, yeah, that would
That'd
be
be a
great.
really good idea.
That'd
Yep.
be really good.
I want to get it approved by the state lady before,
Yep.
too, so.
But I mean, I know Terry's usually right at Robinson's during the day, and same way with the gentleman up at Country Time, and they're not very, it may be better just to,
Struck by. Is Stutzman's open during the week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're open every single day, but yeah, they typically are.
well, they have workers there every day, so I mean, if they're not, the store
My wife's
itself
there
isn't-
almost every day, so.
Oh, really?
I've never been there.
Are you serious?
No,
I've never been.
Oh.
I've never been there.
I've been in the vegetable side to buy vegetable, I've never.
Yeah,
been
that's
to-
my, where, you
Yeah.
basically can mark, peas, okay, what month is that? Yeah, corn finally. And they make a very good pizza
I've
too.
bought vegetables, but I've never been in the restaurant. Or
Yeah, no,
the-
we're primarily
yeah.
vegetable
Yeah, the veg,
consumers,
oh,
yeah.
I've bought vegetables there.
Okay, old business.
I didn't have anything on there. I mean, we kind of covered it through the new business and the road commission. I mean, unless there's something that you can think of that, there's so much information that we're still waiting on that we can't really, nothing new.
Yeah, I get, the only thing I would, I guess, not really, no, I guess we have nothing, so, I don't have anything. All right. Correspondence? No. Item 10, request for additional agenda items?
Well, the
None.
record says she's shaking her head,
I
no.
Executive session?
No.
None.
No.
A motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor? It's unanimous. We are adjourned at 5 minutes.